How about the Nebraska basketball team? A 74-73 win over number 10 Wisconsin on the road. Things look a lot different now than they did just a couple weeks ago. A 3-game winning streak. They got a win against the top 10 team, Wisconsin, for the first time since 2014. They got their first road win against a ranked team, first time since 2019 when they knocked off Ohio State. And they started the winning streak by annihilating Penn State. I don't know if you've watched these games, but at Penn State, it was their senior night. And we made one of their big guys cry a lot. And we saw a Nebraska team come out and shoot the lights out. Something we had expected all season. And it didn't happen until then. And they tried as much as they could, really, to not score 100 points. They ended up with 93, but obliterated Penn State. Penn State, that whole game, was like shocked at what they ran into. Obviously, they thought they'd just blow Nebraska off the court, and it was the other way around. Then they went to Ohio State, and Ohio State just looked, quite frankly, kind of lost too. And Nebraska played very well, won by 8. I think it was 78-70. Then they go to Wisconsin. Then the first half, Nebraska played really well again. In the second half, it was like the officials had something out for us. You know, you had Trey McGowen's ejected from a game for a flagrant 2 foul. I'll include a link in the notes for a Twitter video that shows the flagrant foul. I don't know basketball that well, but the basketball guys I know said that's kind of a weak flagrant 2 foul, but whatever. Trey McGowen's goes out of the game. Bryce McGowen's isn't playing because he has a wrist injury. So Nebraska is missing their best player coming in. They lose their best defensive player pretty much at the beginning. 17:32, I think it was, left in the second half. You're thinking, okay, well, this is turning into a disaster like most Nebraska games do in the second half this season. It wasn't long later until Alonzo Verge got whistled for a technical. And I'll include a link to a Twitter video of that too. Alonzo Verge gets knocked to the floor, making a layup. He slaps the floor. He gets up. He looks at the ref. He says nothing. He looks at the ref, then looks at him one more time, gets called for a technical. Because I don't know, it's like the weakest technical foul ever. And you're thinking, okay, this is a disaster. It's Verge's 4th foul. He goes to the bench for 5 minutes. And in that 5 minutes of Wisconsin, they go on a 23-7 run. They should have slaughtered us, but they don't. Because Alonzo Verge comes back into the game. And he makes 11 of Nebraska's last 17 points. And Nebraska holds Wisconsin to without a field goal in the last 5:48 of the game. And wins by 1 point. And it's exciting. And it was fun. And this is what basketball should look like. And really, that's what it comes down to. If this is what a Fred Hoiberg team is going to look like, then I'm glad we kept Fred Hoiberg. I made a video a little while back that I was happy he was retained. And I think, maybe, just maybe, that these 3 games, this 3-game winning streak in which Nebraska has played exceptionally well, are going to make a huge difference to the future. Because you go back to how bad we looked. It was unwatchable. It was terrible basketball. And you kind of thought, who would want to return and play on this team again next season? And that's been a real big problem for Fred Hoiberg, is this constant roster turnover. And we're going to lose people. Verge, I think, is a senior. He's gone. Bryce McGowen's, one of the round 1 of the NBA draft. When they give you bags of money, you take it. That would be just dumb for him to return. You want Derek Walker back because he's playing well. Eduardo Andre is all of a sudden looking like a serviceable Big Ten big guy, which I didn't think was possible, but he's not that great on offense, but he's played really well on defense. And he did a very good job against Wisconsin. And keep in mind, again, top 10 on the road, Wisconsin. Team that wanted to play for a sole possession of the Big Ten title, Wisconsin. Team playing its senior day with Brad Davison's last game after 38 years of being at Wisconsin. And it makes me happy to know that his last game in a home uniform at Wisconsin is going to be a loss to a shitty Nebraska team. For the rest of his life, he can think of that. It makes me happy. You know why it makes me happy? Big Ten hate. Embrace it. It's what we are, a hateful conference. What I think is most important about this is that players are going to return. Maybe with that, we'll build a core of a team that has experience playing in the Big Ten next season. We still have the Big Ten tournament left. We could make some noise. We haven't had the season we wanted, but we could still, ruin some other people's hopes and dreams, and that would be just cool. What has caused this turnaround? Well, obviously, we should have restructured Fred's contract in the middle of the season. We'd still had a better season because we haven't lost a game since. But I think really it comes down to confidence. Before when like Edward or Andre would walk onto the floor, you could tell the team kind of lost confidence because I don't think they thought he could play. And you don't see that now. You see everybody giving an effort. Lat Man used to go into an emotional funk. You could kind of see it in his body language. He's not doing that anymore. Alonzo Verge looks like the guy that you always wanted to be. He's scoring, he's dishing, he's got assists coming out his ears. It's been fabulous. So I think this is exciting for the future of Nebraska basketball. We need something to be excited about. The 3-game winning streak going into the Big Ten tournament could be fun. We'll see what happens. It's not over yet. We are the first 20-loss team to beat ranked opponents back-to-back in 50 years. That's what Nebraska is now, apparently a statistical anomaly in its men's sports. Maybe we can win the Big Ten tournament and go on to the NCAA tourney as a really crappy team. Wouldn't that be something? Hope you're doing well. Go Big Red.